Okay, so yeah, we can start over.
Okay. Hi, I'm Cynthia McKinney, and I am in Acapulco, Mexico, at Anarchapulco.
Okay, and what is going on here? Like, what is this shift in consciousness, or is that even the right word?
What the heck is going on here? Let me tell you, I'm wondering the same thing. But what I think is happening is that people have finally decided that they're fed up with the government. And since we have people here from many different countries other than just the United States, they're fed up with their governments too. So we've got some people who are from European community countries and they're fed up with the EU. We've got some people who are here who are from Venezuela and they're fed up with the United States interference in their country. There are some people who are here from the United States and they're fed up with the United States meddling in the affairs of all the other countries of the world. So bottom line is that we've got people here, I think I heard over 1,000 people who are here because they're fed up with government and they're looking for a change, an alternative to what we have now.
And for somebody, let's say, who doesn't know you, you have intimate ties to the government. Like, I mean, you were part of it. Um, can you give us a little bit of your background and what you observed, maybe? I don't know how specific I can be, but you.
I was in the Congress for 12 years. I was elected from the state of Georgia. And before that, I was in the Georgia legislature for 4 years. So you could say that most of my formative adult years I spent in the public eye, in public spaces, in public institutions. And basically, I understand why people are fed up. I'm fed up. I've been outraged for the last 25 years since I've been out of Congress, since I've been in politics. I've been fed up. And I've been fed up because it seems that the governing institutions are moving farther and farther away from the will of the people. And there are some people who have very close proximity to those representatives who are elected. And those are the special interests, the operatives inside the deep state. And so now we've got a deep state that is taking complete control of the governing apparatus of the United States of America. The deep state is comprised of individuals who have an unusual amount of leverage with the public state. Now, the public state are these people who are elected to Congress, our president, our Supreme Court. Those are the faces of the public state. But they are guided and directed in their policy directives by unnamed people who are able to leverage their power inside the public state. That's the deep state. We don't know who they are. Well, some of us, you have a way of figuring it out. Like, for example, a Henry Kissinger, who seems to make his presence felt no matter what the administration is, Democrat, Republican, really doesn't matter, because at that level, they all answer to the same deep state interests. Zbigniew Brzezinski was one of those. Donald Rumsfeld, one of those. Dick Cheney, one of those. And sometimes the private faces of the deep state show themselves in the public state. Like Dick Cheney was the vice president, Donald Rumsfeld was the secretary of not defense, I'd say Pentagon secretary, because what the Pentagon represents is not defense, it's offense. And then, of course, we get Madeleine Albright, Condoleezza Rice. They come in all shapes and hues, all colors, all genders, but they all have the same kind of backward ideology. And there's an additional aspect of those individuals who populate the deep state. And that is they benefit from their position. So you get a Donald Rumsfeld who sits at the head of Searle, And they make, among other things, he's at the head of the company that is responsible for Tamiflu. And then while he is Secretary of the Pentagon, he has the Pentagon buying Tamiflu. We've got Michael Chertoff at the Department of Homeland Security. And of course, we all know that September 11th was a tragedy, but September 11th doesn't have anything with the machines that now we're forced to that see through our clothes, take off our clothes, feel our bodies at every airport in the world. Those are Chertoff machines. So he sold the machines ostensibly to keep us safe after September 11th. These are highly corrupt individuals who now have complete control over the United States, the apparatus of the state of the United States. And that is why we have an ever-growing community of people at Anarchapulco who have said we've had enough. We see the corruption. We know the corruption. We feel the corruption. Our communities suffer as a result of their corruption. Now, let me just say one thing. The deep state is able to prevail because it specializes in the politics of divide and rule. So our challenge as a community is to be able to bridge all of the gaps, to span the political spectrum, the ideological spectrum, from far right to far left, from populist right to populist left, to everything in between. So now I actually have an idea about sitting down together in what I call these power cells. So people from every part of the ideological spectrum come together, same table, same room, and come up with solutions to our local problems. That's the way that once we get to know each other, we can defeat divide and rule, and through unity, we can build community.